Turn it. Might not go. Jules is here. He might jump on. Come
Cool.
on. Say 5, 6. Come over here. I'll turn it this way.
Hey, Alyssa.
Hi,
Alyssa,
sir. Hi,
there she is.
Hare Krishna. Oh, there's.
Hello.
They're
Hey,
just eating their vegan treats now.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm eating some pomegranate too.
Hey, Jules. What's up, man?
Not much.
You got them.
How's your food? Do you like it?
Yeah.
Yes, it's very good.
Jules is funny.
You know, they have the best recipes. I was just telling Zoe.
Mm-hmm.
The vegans have the best recipes.
Amazing.
They're trying. You know, I think they have a plot. They want to take over the world. In fact, have you ever heard of Isa Chandra Moskowitz? She's got a restaurant in Brooklyn.
Yeah, we actually just got her Veganomicon cookbook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She must be like Indian or maybe, and then she married a Jewish guy because her last name is Moskowitz
Right.
and her middle name is Chandra. But she's got this is how I know that the vegans are trying to take over the world. She's got a cookbook called Vegan Cupcakes Conquer the World.
Well, I'll
It's
tell you
really
what,
good.
Lena makes the best vegan desserts. She should.
Oh my God, yeah.
should
I
open
still
a
have it on
bakery.
my phone, the cake that she made for the birthday celebration.
She should
last
open a
night.
bakery. She would do so well.
Yeah, she's Russian, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And I think all her cakes are prashad too. Like
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain that she offers them to Krishna before.
Oh yeah, she's really strict. I mean, you know, I didn't know that she was from Russia, but then I saw her at the Russian. I picked up a lady from Squirrel Hill and her son that were going to. She wanted to bring her son to the last part of the Russian devotee get together in New Vrindavan. So she was there serving out, you know, in the prasadam room, all the Russians. Prasadam is going to conquer all the communists, I think. That would be nice. So anyway, were you at this, Alyssa? Were you on this trip?
Oh no. Mm-mm.
What was the trip anyway?
Um,
So who sponsored it and who put it together?
So is Vedaji? I don't know if you know
Vedaji.
him. He's a monk. He lives in his home base is like Atlanta, but he was raised in a monastery like since the age of 7.
Wow.
Yeah. Studying like Vedanta, like literature.
He lives in India.
No, he's in Atlanta now, but he
Okay.
was, I think he was born in India and then, went to the monastery there. I don't know when he came to the United States exactly what his,
Monastery, you mean like a gurukul? Like a school of the guru?
yeah, it was pretty austere from what he describes of his experience.
Well,
Not fancy.
Krishna was in a gurukul too.
Yeah,
And it was very austere.
Not,
He
not
went,
fancy. It was,
he went out to get firewood with his friend Sudama Brahmana, and it started raining, and they got lost, and they were stuck in the rain. It was freezing cold, and they were gone all night, and they finally found him,
oh my God.
and his guru blessed him that you'll know all the Vedas. You know, of course, Krishna knows everything anyway, but.
It's like, I'm gonna sit over here and I can put this over here.
I didn't know they allowed cats in the temple room.
Baby.
He's a virtual cat. What's his name?
It's a girl, Isis.
Isis, right, yeah. Krishna loves all the furry creatures.
That's right.
So, so Vedaji. Who else was on the trip besides Vedaji
Well,
and yourself?
I only knew one other. Actually, no. You know who I saw in Brindavan when we got there was Zeb. You know Zeb from our group?
Zeb Hanuman.
He was already over there.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was kind of surprised. I was just sitting to watch this guy. His name is Roganoff, and he's coming out with some book called From Punk to Monk. And
Yeah, he was a member of a shelter group, wasn't he?
Was he? It probably
I
was because he was in that whole hardcore scene and all that, and he was talking about that.
you
But
know
he
they
said
made a
like,
movie about that was filmed in the Bhakti Center
oh, cool. No,
with
he was
Ethan
just like,
Hawke. Ethan Hawke's a movie
oh,
star. They
oh,
filmed it
wow.
in the Bhakti Center,
Over here.
and yeah, so yeah, that was a big thing back then. Michael, you know Michael Floor. He,
Yeah,
what is his real name now? His devotee name?
I don't know.
Mukunda. I think it's Mukunda.
Is oh, it is, huh?
Yeah, he's like taken over for the old Mukunda.
Yeah,
Mukunda 2.0.
seems like it.
But yeah, he's really into that in the '90s.
Hmm.
The whole hardcore straight edge scene, Shelter, and but anyway, so it was Zeb was there,
That
and
was over there.
mostly people from the United States were there.
In my group, yeah. The only other one I knew who was Brittany, she's called what's her Anna Anugaru Gara is her Anugara, I think is her devotee name. And I knew her from she taught yoga at the retreat that we went
Oh,
to for
okay.
Darwin, and so she was there. She lives in, I think, Virginia.
Hmm.
So I knew her, but everybody else was new to me. There were three people from Netherlands, Jop, Matilda, uh, and then Montrini. She kind of joined us. So she was amazing. She kind of, oh, you need a plate though. Those are really, go get a bowl. Get a bowl and then just, yeah, because they're messy. Um, so she was from she was from, or they were from Netherlands. Uh, Robert was a young guy. He was a photographer from New York, from Brooklyn, New York City.
Do you
And then
take a lot
there's,
of shots? Take a lot of
uh,
pictures?
oh yeah, yeah,
Did you take any pictures?
they're
Can
all
you
on the,
share
yeah,
anything?
yeah. I've been posting them. Um, they're all on the WhatsApp. We have a lot of stuff shared too. Then there were two photographers, Rohit, um, Rohit, I'm blanking out on, I'm blanking out on his name right now. He was the other. They were the photographers who were there. They were from India, and in our group was also Sheba. She was a devotee from Atlanta. She was really awesome. Everybody was awesome. Kat, a couple, Kat and what's her name? She's from Ireland. Kat and their son Jonathan, who was wonderful. They're wonderful. They're in New Hampshire. And Colette, Kat and Colette, and then Patricia, who's also from Connecticut. My roommate, who was from Connecticut, Laura, and then Hada Davy. She's from uh what's Nahar Davy? She's from Connecticut as well. Why am I forgetting? Why I'm just blanking on people's names that I've been like. Why am I doing this? Hold on. Victoria and her son Leo. Yeah, I'm sorry. Keshavi, Hada Keshavi. That's
Mm.
Keshavi. She was from there. Um, and who else am I forgetting? And then we met this guy Thomas. He was from Sweden on the way. And then
A lot of
Artie,
people from the Netherlands.
Florida. Yeah, there were like three people from. Oh, and also Ram. Ram was from named Rudy. Ram. He's a devotee from also Netherlands, I think. So yeah, I like four people in all from Netherlands. Then we picked up this younger kid from Sweden named Thomas. We met him in Rishikesh, and he just kind of came with us to Vrindavan and went back to Rishikesh.
So you were in Rishikesh for a while. Did you stayed in Roma in Rishikesh?
Yeah, it was called Holy River Motel, and it was really nice because we would get up every morning and we would go down to we would do like Tai Chi or yoga, like right on the banks, like in this little platform, like of the Ganga, and then we'd do our sangha there, like every morning. So
What's a
it was
sangha? What did you guys do for a sangha?
um we would do chanting, and Veda would have like, since we were all in the process of trying to like release things, he would give us like a little exercise, and what do we want to like let go of, what do we want to bring more in, because that was just the morning. And then we would kind of go back in, we would have our breakfast a little at the hotel, and then we would go up in there was like a yoga room on the third floor, and that's where we go and do more. We do kirtan, then we journal and do a little bit of exercise, whatever we were gonna focus on for our intention for the day. So every day was kind of like centered like that. He called it our family time, so we'd all get together with the group. um but the whole thing was, it was really about like about really being able to just open your heart up and just accept and receive. Like if anything, it was like a big lesson and all that. I think everybody's just, avatars, egos, just all that just was like that just didn't exist there. And that was really nice. That was just like getting in touch with just who you are in your essence. And like, India is just it's so charged because every time you walk down the streets, like somebody's doing a kirtan. So
Yeah,
there's RTs every night, not just in one place on the god, like all over, not just in Rishikesh. It's like all up and down that river,
I
from
know.
shore to shore,
Yeah.
place to place.
Where
There's
did you
art.
land first? Did you land in Mysore or
Flew into Mumbai. Went to go over to the eco
Mumbai?
village.
Yeah.
We met Swami Radhanath. He was there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he gave a talk to our group, which was really nice. Um,
Just
and
for your group.
what's that?
Just for your group.
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah, he came
nice.
and talked to our group.
Yeah, he's so. I mean, he really does know how to uh, take care of people, and I mean, he's got so many disciples. He's a busy man. I'm
Yeah,
surprised that he would even had time
I
to do
know.
anything like that.
I
But
know, but I think he was just there kind of, resting up. I think he had been feeling a little under the weather, so he was just kind of like regrouping there. And then
I,
I met Guru Seva, and I gave Alyssa has a copy of her book because she just put out called A Heart Full of Gratitude. And I just met her by accident. I was going to a evening RT, and we were going on these little, these golf carts because the eco village is actually big. Like
yeah, it's
we,
huge.
they, we saw the wastewater plant where they take all the wastewater and they use it for all the irrigation, and
Wow.
they grow everything, but
They
most of the
have
they
scientists
grow.
there, that completely engineered that whole thing. Have you
Yeah.
ever seen the video of them serving out prashadam with their big, every year during Kartik, they have a huge operation, like with huge vats, and they got it all timed, and it's all scientific, and then
Oh
they
wow.
break it all down, and then they go over downhill or something. I
Mm.
mean, it's like a huge operation. They're feeding thousands of people every freaking day.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I heard. It like thousands, which is, I mean, they do hundreds up in New, which is a lot when, they do those huge things, but this is like I don't even know how they would prepare all that, but yeah, the food we ate there was just really exceptional. And it was a really beautiful place to stay. You could go to morning RT and evening. They're building all these temples there in the eco village. They keep building new ones. They're
Really?
big. Yeah,
I
and
wonder
like
when the one in New Vrindavan is going to be open. I keep on asking about
oh
that.
yeah,
The
that
one
one up
across
on
the
top of
street
the
from the
hill.
palace.
Yeah, but the ones
That's
that
going to be a big deal when
that's
that
gonna be
opens.
nice. The ones in the eco village, like they all have like there's like more than one morning RT. Like you go to one, you try to go to the other temple, and like it's
That's nice.
it is really nice. It's just, and then there's that amazing mountain like in the background that I didn't get to go to, but there are old temple ruins on the top of the mountain.
Wow.
Yeah, and it
Yeah,
was
I love India because it's everything. So many things happen there. It's like
yeah.
everything that's in the Bhagavatam. I mean, I was walking around Mayapur. We landed in Calcutta, and that was like hell.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, it was like all cars are going each way, and there's pigs and donkeys and rickshaws, and they're all the horns. The cars are going all over the place,
Yes,
and
all of India's like that. Every
each
city
car has a
you
bumper
buy.
sticker, and it says "Please honk," and
Hmm.
all the cars are honking at once, and it's really
Constantly.
polluted, and some gentleman from I was sitting in the front of that big lodge, in Mayapur, that pink lodge, the big one they made in the 70s,
I
and it's a
don't
big
know.
long guest house, and this gentleman comes up to me and said, "How are you liking India?"
Mm.
And I said, "Oh well, I like it. I like the holy places, but I don't know about Calcutta, And he seemed hurt because
Oh,
I think he was probably from Calcutta.
oh
Calcutta's not too
no.
far from Mayapur. But
Yeah.
on the
Oh,
way to Rishikesh, did you see any Hanuman statues?
yeah.
Those are
Hanuman,
huge.
but
They got like 30-foot Hanuman statues on the side of the road.
and
See, that's the
also
thing about India. In America, they go and see a big Disney,
right
like a
there,
Mickey
there it's
Mouse
all the
thing.
temples. Yeah. Hmm.
Mickey Mouse, and they all get on the thing. But in
Well,
India, they go see Hanuman, and then they go to the Ganges or
yeah,
something.
and they save all year to go to like the eco village. That's like a big thing.
They have pilgrims there every year.
Yeah, it's a big, huge thing for
I
people
bet
to.
you they go just for do they go for Kartik or like various holy festivals.
Oh yeah, we were at the end of Kartik and it was like really big, but I think it's I don't know. I think people just go because it's the eco village and there's always, so much going on there. That anytime you go,
Yeah, yeah.
there's things.
Devananda was there for a while with his wife Vishwadika, or
Oh, okay.
Vishnu Shakti, but he got deported back to Canada.
He got deported from India?
He got deported from America. He was trying to come back into America, and
What?
his paperwork. I was all set. He was like one of the original Brijabasis in New Vrindavan. He would take care of the bulls. There are old pictures of him in the '70s riding on a bullock cart.
Wait, is this just recently he got deported?
No, about 10 years ago, or
Oh,
15 years ago, and he hasn't been here since. I don't think. I mean, he's trying to like see if he can get in again, but
wait, David Anda from our group who plays guitar?
no, Devada. His name was
Oh,
Devada. Was actually he was a Swami, but he's a Prabhupada disciple, and
oh,
he
okay,
was
wow.
married to Vishwadika. Vishnu Shakti was her original devotee name, and she became a
Was it?
sannyasi. But she was in charge of the children. She was a Gurukul teacher. But yeah, so I had just gotten a 4K camera. I was going to do a documentary of him taking care of the bullock carts in the new barn because they just refurbished the barn in New Vrindavan. It had new paneling on it and everything, and I wanted to but then he got deported. He
Wow.
just had bad paperwork.
Oh, wow.
But anyway, yeah, he was one of my good friends from the '80s. We would go out together in San Francisco and in Phoenix, and we were mostly on the West Coast. But he's really a funny guy. But he's a very, very early Prabhupada disciple. He was there since the beginning, I think, from the very early '70s in New Vrindavan. But so you went to Rishikesh and you went to Mumbai.
Well, no, we didn't really stay in Mumbai. That's where I flew in and out of.
Yeah.
So
But you
then
met Radha Swami there. Did you spend a night out there in Mumbai or?
no, I picked up, we were at the eco village the whole time. And then we
Okay.
drove out of the eco village to Mumbai. We flew from Mumbai to Delhi. So
Hmm.
we took a domestic flight. And then when we got to Delhi, we drove. But there was like a bus there, a tour bus, and it came and picked us up. And we drove to Rishikesh from Delhi.
Yeah. Well, that when I was in Rishikesh, they have a temple. Did you go to the ISKCON temple in Rishikesh? It was actually owned.
No,
Originally it was constructed for my spiritual master, Kirtananda.
we didn't go to that. We went to the Parnath, the Parnath ashram to see the arti, the big famous like
No,
that's
we didn't see that when we were there. There wasn't hardly anything there.
mm,
But one disciple of Kirtananda, he when we were there, it was like the plot where the temple was built was like a jail, and there were some cows in the courtyard. But I just saw the blueprints of the temple, and we were there just like in February, and everybody else was coming down from the Himalayas, because that's pretty far up north, the
yeah.
Rishikesh, but there was one guy, one sadhu was going up.
Mm.
I couldn't believe it, because it's pretty cold. We didn't even go swimming in the Ganges because it was pretty
It's
cold,
too cold. Wow.
But yeah, it's such a holy place.
It's amazing. I really I mean I loved everything about the trip. I guess the one thing I would say about Delhi, the air quality is just horrible there.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, it's so bad, and of course it's not much better in Vrindavan. And when we came from Rishikesh, this is this fresh like mountain air into
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
It was,
yeah.
it was quite a change.
Yeah, I didn't know it was that polluted. When I was in
Yeah,
Vrindavan, but I got sick in Vrindavan.
I
I
did
made the
too.
mistake of drinking the water or eating some bad food or
Yeah,
something because
we all a bunch of us all got sick, all got the Delhi belly toward the end of the trip.
the Delhi belly. Is that what
Yeah,
they
we all
call it?
got something not all of us, but a lot of us. I got sick. I got like a little fever, upset stomach. I didn't really get real sick though, but I just remember having just like during that day and that night, just just not feeling so good.
Yeah, it's just the germs are different there. You got to be
Very
careful
different.
because we're not used to those germs.
Not
We
used
don't
to
have
it.
any. We don't have any defense mechanism for
Nope.
those Indian germs. The
Mm-mm.
Delhi belly.
Mm-mm.
Did you have any tour guides? That took you to some holy places.
Well, yeah, the whole trip. Like Keshav, who had been there before, Vedaji, and then Hanuman was really the guy that they hired to like do a lot of the logistics if like anybody needed anything. Restaurants we went to, um, different like temples. Like we went to one temple up in the near Rishikesh where it was like where Lord Shiva holds the poison in his neck.
Nalakanta.
Mm-hmm.
Nalakanta means blue throat.
Yeah, Nalakanta. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What is his blue throat?
He swallowed an ocean of poison because the demigods and the demons were churning the ocean, and actually Vishnu just made this up because the demons and the demigods were fighting, and Vishnu constructed this whole competition
It was good.
where the demons would churn
Oh
the
no,
ocean of milk,
in your pants.
and then
Oh,
they would churn it by taking this big mountain, this golden mountain called
You're-
Mandara Mountain,
yeah.
and then they took Vasuki, who was a huge serpent, and they wrapped it around the mountain so they could churn it, go back and forth. And then the demigods held the tail, and they offered it, which one do you want? And the demigods, first of all, they said the head, and then the demons said, no, we want the head. But that wasn't a very good choice because, Vishuki was like a fire-breathing serpent, so they got all burned. But anyway, the during the churning of the ocean, various things were produced, including Lakshmi Devi herself, the goddess of fortune, and the moon, and poison was developed from the ocean. It was threatening to destroy everything, and so they called Lord Shiva, and he's like he can do anything, So even his wife didn't even protest. Parvati let him do that because she knew he was like all powerful, and so he drank the entire ocean of poison. All of the poison that was produced, and some of the snakes and spiders and scorpions, they got whatever was left over, and that's why they have the poison in them. But
That's what he has a snake.
because he drank that, he kept it in his throat. He didn't swallow it, so he got a blue throat. Nila means blue, and Kanta means throat.
Neela means blue, like Neela Shalachandra. Does that mean blue something?
Yeah, it means bluish hue. Yeah, Lord Shiva is almost as powerful as Vishnu. He's like got 78% of the qualities of Vishnu, but Vishnu has got they're equally as powerful as Krishna, all the Vishnu incarnations, but Krishna has 4 qualities that are even above Vishnu. He plays on the flute. He attracts all living entities, and he's just the most beautiful personality in the universe.
Krishna or Shiva is kind of scary.
Shiva, he's the greatest Vaishnava, though. He's actually very compassionate, and if you ever read, he might look scary, because he hangs out in the crematorium, he smears his body with ashes, and he wears like skull bones, around his neck, and because he hangs out in the crematorium, and he goes around with all these ghosts and hobgoblins. And those are like, he's very merciful to the people in the mode of ignorance, these ghosts and goblins and stuff, Those are his servants. But if you read his teachings, I mean, he has his in the Bhagavatam, there's whole prayers of Lord Shiva and his glorification. He's always in meditation on Krishna. He's just sitting in meditation. And one time, Daksha was forming a big sacrifice, and he was sitting there, and Lord Shiva was sitting there in the sacrifice. All the other demigods were there, and Daksha walked in. He was a big progenitor. This is like millions of years ago at the beginning of the Earth, So he was one of the progenitors because he was very expert in, sex life. he was creating all the progeny, and so, but he walked in. He was a big guy, So everybody, saw Daksha walking in, and they paid obeisances to him and showed him respect. But Lord Shiva remained sitting because he was meditating on Vishnu. And he's always meditating on the pastime between Radha and Krishna. And so he didn't even acknowledge it, even though he's acknowledging everybody at all time by worshiping Vishnu. But Daksha got really mad, and he started denouncing Lord Shiva. And he said, you're just a dirty fellow. You don't pay any respect, and you're just hang out with crematorium with dead bodies and stuff. And so he really insulted him. And so then the demigods and the people in the sacrifice really got mad, and they started fighting. All the followers of Lord Shiva started fighting with the followers of Daksha, and they just started like really violent fight, gouging each other's eyes out and everything. But they were just, Lord Shiva just walked away. But one time later, his daughter, who is Uma, or the goddess of, Parvati, the daughter of the Himalayas, is Shiva's daughter, and she wanted to go to a get together that her mother and her father were doing, and all of her relatives would be there. And like it says in the Bhagavatam that women like to dress up and go to different occasions like that. And my wife says that whenever she wants to go out on a date, and she'll say, Lord Uma Dakshayani, she says in the Bhagavatam that women like to get dressed up and go out, so why don't you do that for me, And so, but Lord Shiva forbade her from doing that and said, no, that's not a very good idea, because Daksha is envious of me, and he'll say something really bad and you won't like it. But she was determined. She went anyway, disobeyed his instructions, and of course Daksha didn't even pay any attention to her, and she really got mad, and she cursed him. He said, only somebody like you would insult such a great personality as Lord Shiva. And so I don't even want to be associated with your body anymore. You're my father, but I don't want that association. So she sat in meditation and burned herself to a crisp.
Whoa.
With the fire inside her body. She can meditate and combust internally. And Daksha, he was so envious that he didn't even blink an eye when it was his own daughter was killing herself right in front of everybody, all the family members. See, that's an example of the quality of envy, which is so destructive, even in your family members, So that's a very good example of the quality of envy that should be avoided. He was envious of Shiva because, like a very auspicious person like that, he has all kinds of spiritual qualities. He may not have any very many. He could have whatever he wanted materially, but he chose to live in a tree or in the crematorium. So he didn't have any material. But a spiritual person has so many assets that somebody that's envious like Daksha didn't have. But anyway, what happened was they eventually. Anyway, it's a long story, but that's the sacrifice. It was a big, huge uproar, and that it causes problems, envy in the world. Nobody should be envious of anybody, because you can also have all these qualities that Lord Shiva had, but he was just thinking, well, he's not paying any respect to me. Who's just like the old Colbert Report. Like he would pretend that he was like somebody like Bill O'Reilly or something on his show. He said, who's not honoring me now? Who's not giving me an award? I deserve to be honored. And so that was like Daksha, So he got very upset. And so that is the story of that sacrifice. It's in the Bhagavatam. It's a great story. But it can even destroy families. So what else did you do? Did you go into any holy places and get like a tour of different places that we might remember from the
We went
scriptures?
to like the Lake Radakund. Was that it?
Oh, Radicund, yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
They
And-
have snapping turtles in there. You have to be careful. In
oh,
fact,
I didn't go in there.
you
I
shouldn't
would.
really even go in because you're not really nobody's qualified to actually go in there. That pond is you have to be totally pure and ever. You can take a few drops of water, put it on your head, but if you go in there and like start splashing around, I mean nobody's really qualified to even touch that water because that's non-different from Radharani herself. It's supposed to be non-different from her. It's very dear to Krishna, that lake. You know the story of Radhakund and Shamakund?
I don't know the story. I just know we went there and we did like a whole we got
Did you
bits and pieces.
circumambulate it?
So binding like a had a priest do a little blessing kind of.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a lot of course, near the new temple across the street from the palace. Barshana's got his own Radhakund.
Hmm.
I mean,
Oh,
that's
that
it.
little pond.
That little pond up there is actually Radhakund, and don't laugh because a saintly person like Varshana Maharaj, he can create
Mm,
a holy place just from his will. In fact, my spiritual master who created New Vrindavan, the pranam mantra that we used to chant was Namaste Bhakti Padaya Prabhupada Priyayate. Prabhupada is very dear to Prabhupada. Lila Kshetram Param Dhamma Stapitam Pashtame, which means who has created a place of past, a transcendental village where the pastimes of Krishna are taking place. So he can create that out of nothing because a holy man can, everywhere he goes actually is holy because he's like a walking tirtha. A holy man, he's not, just because, Prabhupada was talking about that, like one devotee was really puffed up and he said, I just want to chant near Radhakund. And Prabhupada said, like wherever you go, it doesn't matter. Lord Chaitanya has told everybody to preach Krishna consciousness, not just to stay in one place and chant. If you really want to please Lord Chaitanya, it's not that you don't chant, but you can chant anywhere and give benefit to other living entities, and not just for yourself, Just like Prahlad Maharaj, he's one of the most compassionate devotees of Krishna, because of Lord Nrsingadev, because he said, I'm not at all afraid of material existence because I know wherever I am, I can glorify you and I'll be safe. But I'm simply concerned for all the poor fools and rascals who are busy maintaining their families and society and countries. I'm simply concerned with love for them. And I don't want to go back to Godhead on my own. I know there's a lot of different sages and saints, and they go to the Himalayas or in a cave somewhere, and they meditate with vows of silence, Monavrata. They don't say anything. But I want to go where because I know that without becoming Krishna conscious, without being taking shelter of your lotus feet, you can't be happy. So therefore, I don't want to be liberated on alone. I don't want to go back to Godhead on my own. I will not be happy until I can bring them back to shelter at your lotus feet. So he is the greatest example of Vaishnava compassion. And he's one of the Mahajans in our Sampradaya. There's like 12 Mahajans, the great personalities who know Krishna consciousness, and he's one of them. And he was only 5 years old. So he's a pretty smart 5-year-old, And they were trying to teach him, all these demons were trying to teach him all different kinds of politics, Like this is your friend and these are your enemies. You're supposed to kill your enemies and you're supposed to make friends with your friends. And he couldn't relate to it. He just said, this is just nonsense, and so he's smarter than 99.9% of all of our politicians, and he was only 5. So that's what we should follow is these great saints, who actually do care.
Leave those wrappers everywhere. Throw those away right now.
And so you went to Radhakund. Did you go anyplace else?
Yeah, we went to. So I went to a temple that was in Vrindavan to see I can't remember the name of it though. I mean, there's so many temples in Vrindavan. Um, the one up in Rishikesh, and
There's
then
about 5,000 temples in
yeah,
Vrindavan.
there 10 now they said.
10,000.
They said now because they're building them all the time.
Did you go to any of the Goswami temples like Radha Damodar, where
No.
Prabhupada was before he came to the West?
Mm-mm.
He was living there for a while.
I mean, it was just like everywhere you looked, there was some kind of temple or shrine. Like it's just
Yeah,
everywhere, and people on the streets
yeah.
chanting like all the time, everywhere, like all the
And
time.
everybody in Vrindavan just say Jai Radhe.
Yeah,
They all say that.
they
Jai
say they
Radhe.
say in Vrindavan they go Radhe Radhe
Radhe, Radhe, Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Yeah, and you could go up to anybody and go Hare Krishna. They go Hare Krishna. Everybody's just like it's just. But it was
Yeah,
funny
everybody's
too. The
Krishna
the weird
conscious.
phenomenon was being just either stared at or people coming up wanting to take a picture with you. That was strange to me.
Yeah.
That was
Would anybody try to get some money out of you because you're a Westerner?
no.
No, that's good. Yeah, because when we were there in the '80s, late '80s, we don't know what money is compared to what they have. So that we're thinking like a rupee is like only 6 cents back then. So they would overcharge
Mm,
for like a rickshaw ride.
yeah.
Ek man dal rupia. One man 2 rupees. Or something like that. But yeah, you have to be careful because it, they'll take advantage of you. But did you see any lepers or anything like that? Any people
Oh
suffering?
yeah. I mean, like I guess the first time was when we finally got to Rishikesh because that was the first time we were like because we were in a Govardhan and the eco village is very just kind of it's contained. It's a little bubble.
Yeah, it's a little bubble in the
It's a
middle
little
of the.
bubble. But when we got to Rishikesh, it was like yeah, you see the lame beggars,
Yeah, yeah.
like they're kind of swamis or something just begging in the streets and they're crippled or there's
Oh, we've got leprosy. Their half of their fingers are gone or something like that.
yeah, like there were people missing legs and they're just begging and it took me a moment, yeah, it took me a moment when I saw it. I was like, whoa, because it's different. It's one thing when you see it like watching a travel show, and it's another thing when you see it up front in your face in real life. It's
Right.
just a
Yeah.
different feeling.
I think Mother Teresa went there and tried to take care of some of those lepers.
She had didn't she had a hospital or something in Calcutta, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Some devotees they kind of like look down on all that Catholic ministry. They think it's like, just mundane philanthropy. And I was in Chicago one time at the Kishore Temple, and this devotee was like blasting, this mundane charity work, and he actually mentioned Mother Teresa by name, and this one Catholic woman, she just walked out, and I don't
Mm,
blame her. I mean, you can't like look down on any other kind of
yeah.
religion or tradition like that. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says he's very specific about what he calls calumny. You ever heard of that term? Calumny is like, you know, real bad criticism of somebody just because of their, like you're not supposed to engage in calumny of another leader and another disciplic, another religious tradition. Any leader, the devotees are not supposed to criticize any other sect or leader of a sect, because that's just, it will create all kinds of disturbances. And that lady walked out of the temple, and it's not a very good reflection on the devotees if they're talking like that. Like I was one time, I was on Sankirtan, and we were trying to sell some stuff in the parking lot, and these Christians came up to us, and they started preaching to us, and my Sankirtan friend, I was trying to reason with him, and I was, like trying to talk to him and everything, and being open to him. But my friend said, "Oh, come on, chick, let's go. They're demons."
Oh no.
Yeah, you can't do that. You don't get very good. You don't like. That's probably against the Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People book. You don't want to do that kind of thing and be
No,
popular and try to
definitely
preach to
not.
people and try to open up and listen to people. Like I was in Arizona one time. The guy that was down there at the head, he built a temple down there, and some Christians came up to him one time, and he was playing harmonium and trying to sell books on the campus there in University of Arizona. And the Christian came up and said, "Do you like Jesus?" And Devananda, or Dasarat Pandit, his name was. See, I like Jesus. I like cheddar cheeses and mozzarella cheeses, and it's
Oh
like
no.
that's like terrible. You don't do that. You have to be a little respectful, because they're just trying to talk and they're trying to relate to their realizations, and so you have to be respectful to all living entities and try to coexist, instead of just being like a puffed up, you know, jerk. But
Yeah.
it's on the other side too. I've
Yeah.
seen Christians who are like, we're at a concert one time, and I think Ozzy Osbourne was playing, and some Christians were passing out tracts on the way to the concert, and saying that the rock and roll is like the devil music, because that's Ozzy's reputation. And so the kids were going, "Hey, don't take that booklet, man. They're saying rock and roll's the devil." And so like 15 yards down the road, there were all these pamphlets on the road, just like littering the whole place. And then there was one guy out in front of the concert who was yelling at all the kids coming out. He said, "You're going to hell," And I said, I went up to him. I said, "Look, maybe you could reach people just by actually talking to them instead of just yelling at them like that." And he said, "No, Jesus was very strong. He would just like knock you over with his words." But that's not the really way you preach. You preach with humility. That's the way Lord Chaitanya preached, with his humility. He was so humble that everybody just melted everybody's heart, even people that were totally inimical. He would go to a bunch of sannyasis' room, and he wouldn't even go in the room. He'd just sit in the boot room where the people wash their feet. And they looked at him in there, and he was like giving off an effulgence, because he's like a really saintly person. And they noticed that, and they said, "What are you doing in there?" I mean, he was a sannyasi. Even he got initiated in the Mayavad Sampradaya by a Mayavadi sannyasi, but that was just a formality. But they said, "Why are you doing in that dirty place? Come in and sit with us." And he took his hand and led him over there. He said, "No, I'm not qualified to be with all you big sannyasis, and he was just humble like that. And they actually asked him to speak. And then after he did that, he converted all of them. Converted them all to Vaishnavas. And, that's a very difficult thing to do for Mayavadis. But so that's the key, humbler than a blade of grass. So you went to Radhakund and Shamakund, or not Shamakund, but you went to different temples.
Hmm. Yeah.
Where else did you go besides Rishikesh? Did you go to Vrindavan?
Yeah. So where
You
we
were in
stayed was
Vrindavan.
outside of Brindavan, like a little bit out of the city, but it was by Govardhan, the hill, the
Yeah, Govardhan Hill.
mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like right by there. It was like a resort place or something. It was kind of weird because like we rented these, or they were like these, they were like these little cottages. They're actually like these little two bedroom cottages that we all kind of like two or three of us shared.
Hmm.
Yeah, they were actually kind of nice. Um, but it was a little more probably austere than like Holy River Motel was very nice, and the rooms at the Eco Village were just like insanely nice, like the balcony and just kind of crazy. At least the building where we
When I
stayed.
was there, we had a five-star hotel but in Jagannath Puri,
Mm,
and all of it. We happened to be there. We didn't plan this. We didn't even know what was going on. But there's all kinds of like festivals going on all year round, all over India.
yeah,
And one that we happened to be there at the time when there was a Surya festival. Like we got up in the morning before the dawn, and there were thousands of people, tens of thousands of people along the Bay of Bengal, and they were all waiting for the sunrise
mm,
because they worship the sun. It's considered a part of Vishnu. It's like considered not Surya himself, but Vishnu. They worship the sun, and so it was amazing of seeing, because tens of thousands of people along the shore when the sun's coming up, all the fishing boats are going out to sea. And it was just awesome. And
wow.
they had a very nice motel, but they didn't have a washing machine in 1988, so you had to do your own laundry. I thought that was kind of inconvenient, but nobody does laundry back then. That was like more than 30 years ago. But I'm sure Eco Village has washing machines now.
Yeah, if and you could have done that. Like everywhere we went, well, except for Holy River, but there was a tub, like in all the rooms, there was like laundering tub.
Yeah,
Wash your
yeah.
clothes. Yeah.
We just washed them on the shower room. We just like slapped them against the floor, the marble floor. It was a nice hotel, it was like a 5-star hotel, but didn't have any laundry facilities. But we're just spoiled Americans, everybody.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it
any
would have
any
been.
pastimes that you want to relate to, like some interpersonal pastimes that made you realize something special?
Well, oh, we also went and did we released ashes on the Ganga. We went to,
Who died?
well, we were told to bring ashes. I brought my mother's.
Oh,
And there was a mother and son, Victoria and Leo, Lakshmi is his devotee name, and he had a twin who died when I guess he was 24, and they've been going to different places and releasing some of his ashes.
oh wow!
Yeah,
It was
so
that in Vrindavan or the
it
Ganges?
was we were in Rishikesh, and then we went I forget the place that we went to. It's a place where you go to release ashes.
Yeah, yeah. There's a name for that place. I
Hmm.
remember in the '90s when uh, what's his name? The Grateful Dead guy passed away. Jerry Garcia.
Hmm.
He got his ashes thrown in the Ganges.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was really friendly with the devotees. They gave him more prashadam than they could, like than anybody probably ever had. He was friendly with the devotees right from the very beginning. He was there in 1967 at the Mantra Rock Dance when Prabhupada was there, and Allen Ginsberg in
Mm.
San Francisco with all the Bay Area bands like Moby Grape and Big Brother and the Holding Company. Malati was there.
Wow.
Malati was there, and Shamasundar, that was her husband at the time, or actually they're just boyfriend and girlfriend. But he arranged that whole thing because he was into the music scene and he knew the manager of the Grateful Dead.
Wow.
But I remember, Jay Leno had his comedy show in the mid '90s when he passed away, and he did a bit, like he played a gif of an elephant jumping out of the Ganges,
Mhm.
and he was saying that he probably was affected by all the drugs that were in the ashes of Jerry Garcia or something. I mean, it sounded really not funny, but it's like it's very respectful. You can actually, Ganges has so much power that you can actually release your forefathers. They've done that before in the Bhagavatam. And you sprinkle some water on the ashes of somebody, and then they can be released from their mortal bonds.
Mm.
Because the Ganges is none other than the goddess.
Yeah, it was very powerful because, when we would go down every morning, just sitting there, even just doing like the yoga or the Tai Chi, like Yop did some Tai Chi with us, which was nice.
Hmm.
You would just
Zeb
have
did that.
his name was Yop. He was the guy from the
Oh,
Netherlands. He did a couple Tai Chi instead of yoga, which I really liked. But you would just sitting there, you would just get these like realizations just sitting there looking at it, like just sitting there.
well, that's
Like
what Radhanath did. When Radhanath, even before he met the devotees, before he met
he
Prabhupada,
was on a rock out there.
he was sitting on a rock
Yeah,
and he
yeah,
learned the Hare Krishna mantra just from sitting on the rock.
hmm
I mean, how you're saying, you just go there to be receptive. I mean, how receptive is that? To be able to learn the Hare Krishna mantra without even hearing it, and
So
then
he
just
didn't
sitting
hear
on a
it?
rock in the Ganges. I maybe he heard it before, but he was hearing the Ganges when he was just listening to the river and sitting there. It's in his book.
Yeah, I remember him saying he picked a rock and he would just sit on it. And I could understand that because I would see these rocks and I was actually thinking about that and thinking, like, I wonder where he went. Like, was it this rock
Yeah,
he sat up
yeah,
here?
yeah. I don't know if you could even pick them out because that whole area there is just full of. That's a big wide river.
Oh, yeah. It's got
And
to be.
sometimes it's flooded and sometimes it's
Yeah.
not. I mean,
during
he
the
probably wouldn't
monsoon.
even be
It's
able
got
to
to be a
figure out.
different
But he
different thing
it
altogether.
would be a holy spot though, wherever he was sitting.
Oh yeah.
Just like Radnath, or Sankirtan Prabhu, he lives in that gray house next to the palace, around the bend from the palace. That's where Prabhupada had his talks, in his yard in
Oh.
1976.
Oh wow.
And I said, "You're living in a holy spot, you know that, right?"
Mm.
He said, "Yeah, yeah, I'm very aware of that." And it's like, he feels a lot of responsibility because Prabhupada was there in his yard. It was kind of like that the road is right in front of his house, but it's kind of shaded with the trees. And they have these beautiful descriptions of Prabhupada. They brought his Vyasasan out, and the Vyasasan was like covered with a yellow silk, shiny yellow silk upholstery, and everybody would sit around him, and it was like a warm summer June day, and the light was filtering through the trees and hitting the yellow silk, and it was just enhancing the color of Prabhupada's natural effulgence. It's just like a beautiful scene, and you sit there to listen to Srila Prabhupada. I mean, where would you ever rather be in the universe than sitting there in that yard at Prabhupada's feet and listening to him talk?
Mm.
It's just a beautiful description. And so that's another holy place. But if I ever go back to India, which I doubt that I will, I was thinking about going back for the TOVP opening because I gave $1,000 to that. But I don't think I want to go anywhere. I'm just too old for that stuff.
One of the things we talked about with the Ganga was that it was the whole thing that, like, I guess India in general, like even Vrindavan, like you have to be careful because like it actualizes things like what you say. But I also found like there was this really intense like return of things, because like we went to the Ganga and my friend Sheba, she was like for some reason just started holding me like in the river, and she's like, rock me like I'm a little baby, and she was like rocking me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really cool how I kind of bonded with her because we were at the eco village, and we were just coming from the RT and everybody else had left, and it was the evening and we're walking around. She just looked at me, she's like, can I give you a big hug? And I was like, oh yeah, absolutely. And and it was really nice. Then she was rocking me the river. And then when we were going up to the cave there, I missed the cave where Jesus supposedly went for the 12 years, like he was missing cave. We were going to go up to the cave, but we were going up the mountain. And I was just talking to Jules on the phone, and he just texts like, be careful. And I was showing him how crazy the traffic was, and that we wrecked, like all the cars like wrecked.
Whoa.
And yeah, and
You
so
mean your car you were driving in wrecked?
there was a car, and like there was a group of us in front, and that car like sideswiped that car, and then we hit the back a little bit, and I said brace yourselves because I knew we were going to hit.
Oh, wow.
And we hit the other car, so everybody got out, everybody's okay. But when she was getting out, she was the one who was rocking me in the river. She was like not like okay, she was in a lot of pain. And I was like, okay, she's got to go to the hospital. And I said, well, we got to call an ambulance. And Vita, she was like, no, we can't wait for it. Like, we got to go down. So we just went down the car, which is, it's bumpy. It's just, the roads are, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And then we went to the Rishikesh like hospital. It was like their public hospital.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but I mean, it's, in comparison, and they did, and I just kind of held her hand. She was scared. It was scary, so it was just like, it was a very, like, a return. It was really weird. But, she got,
Was she hurt at all or no?
no, I think it was just really bad pain and like kind of whiplash that it hurts really bad, but nothing fractured, fortunately, nothing like that. But
when I landed in Calcutta, we went to Mayapur, and we got a taxi, and it was like the taxi was going like 100 miles an hour down this one lane road.
Yeah.
And the taxi driver would play chicken with these huge trucks that are coming in the opposite direction.
Oh, it's
they play chicken. They just like dare the other driver to get out of the way first.
Oh,
and I was like, I was like breaking out in hives,
It's terrifying.
And Prabhupada actually, one time he had a wreck, and he just told the guy to just keep on going, because if the villagers see you, have like even heard a goat or something like that on the side of the road, they'll come over to turn over your car and they'll kill you.
Wow, really?
Yeah, if you're like, so that Prabhupada told him just keep on going.
Wow.
Yeah, be careful. But I mean, the fences are like you say, it's like doubled. If you committed an offense in the Dham, like the Vrindavan, everything you do there is actually multiplied by hundreds of times. The chanting, you get so much more intense, especially in certain times of the year, like in Damodar. Damodar month is the really best time to be in Vrindavan because Krishna just gives extra mercy that at that time. That's why they have so many pilgrims there. But also the offenses, though. If you go to Vrindavan just to like, you know, do some nonsense, and you could end up in Vrindavan like a monkey or something and just live in the trees.
Oh, the monkeys.
Yeah,
So
the monkeys are
everywhere we
bad.
went, our glasses, everybody said, watch your glasses. So Patricia, who was the one in our group from Connecticut, she actually got a strap on hers. And the monkeys tried to take it and they couldn't get it off because she had a strap on the
Right. Yeah.
glasses.
Well, she's smart.
Yeah,
The
no,
the
everywhere
Russian
I
I
went
took a
though.
Russian lady to the farm from the airport, and this Russian lady showed me her glasses. The monkeys took them and scratched the glasses. She's going to get another pair, but
Yeah,
they were
they
visibly
seriously
scratched.
do
They're
that.
thieves,
Yeah,
and they'll try to barter. If you give them a banana or something, maybe they'll give you
they
your glasses
will.
back or
They
not.
I had bought this like a skirt and I had a plastic bag and they started grabbing at it and ripped it because I think they thought it was a food bag, So
Right. Right.
they're yeah, they're pretty intense. And then I bought like something like I bought like 4 or 5 pounds of candy with me to give to all the kids. And then at one point the kids just like were mobbing, they were like cheering, like there was a you had to be like, wait, stop, they were just, they're just going nuts
The
because
kids are just bad as monkeys, right?
yeah, they were like
Well,
they
these
were
Vrindavan kids, just street children, or
well,
were they
no, these
devotee
are
kids?
they're everywhere, all the kids on the streets and stuff,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
even down by the river, down by Ganga. Like there was one thing was nice, there was a mother and some kids, and we were able to give, we had some clothes, like I had brought some clothes to donate, and also
Nice. Yeah.
some of Jules's his old little dhoti, his old little, yeah, his dhoti that he used to wear. It's too small.
Yeah. That's nice to give stuff. I went down to our local food pantry just before Thanksgiving because I was inspired by this one theologian from Georgetown University. He's pretty famous. His name is Jim Wallace. Georgetown is in Washington, D.C., and he's an author. He wrote a book called The False White Gospel. He's been a social activist. He was originally a social activist in the 60s, but then he became a Christian activist. He was converted into Christianity, but he was an evangelical Christian, but he's like a social reformer for social justice, And he was saying all these people he had an article about this one pastor that he met down in Florida who went to the alligator Alcatraz, and he was in a biker outfit. He was all dressed up in biker garb, but he was actually an archbishop of the Catholic Church. And he was saying we have to actually get together with all these various spiritual organizations and try to, care for the people that are suffering. And so because I heard that from this this article, I decided to give some food. We have so much food in this house. We don't, we have so much storage and it's just packed with food. But so I filled up a couple of big tote bags and brought it down to the Catholic Church right down Stratmore, around the corner from. And there's this Sister Mary was there, and she appreciated it. I gave her a Christ and Krishna, and she was pretty busy. We didn't have time to talk, but you have to like reach out to these people that are actually doing something. I think it's one thing that devotees are not doing enough of is outreach. These Catholic ministries and Jewish ministries they're closing off they're allowing ICE guys into the sacred spaces,
Nope.
and ripping people out of their churches,
Nope.
even at Christmas and Thanksgiving. They
Nope.
ruined one lady. One lady got deported on Thanksgiving before she got on the plane.
That's insane.
I mean, that, and you have to like feel the suffering of other people. And if you don't, then you're just like living in your own little bubble, and you're not really relating to the people. And so that's when your mercy kind of flows out, just like it says in the Bhagavatam. If you don't pay attention to of the suffering of the people, even though Brahmanas are not supposed to usually involved in this kind of material thing, your Brahma Tejas, or your power, your potency as a Brahman, it leaks out just like water from a cracked pot.
Mm.
Your mercy, just all the spiritual potency that you have will just leak out because you're supposed to, feel compassion for all the fallen souls. But anyway, it's 7 o'clock, and we still have some leftovers left over from Thanksgiving. Believe it or
Oh,
not,
nice.
my wife made what was it? It was like a pastry type of thing, like with puff pastry, and with kind of like a doll and a filling, but it was really good. And sweet potatoes with maple syrup and pecans.
Mm.
We still have some of that left, and cranberry sauce.
Oh,
I don't
nice.
like the cranberry sauce in a can. It just looks like a can. She makes it fresh, from real cranberries.
I made mine fresh. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
good.
that's a really good dish. It's really nice and tart.
Yeah.
You know, just hold the dead stuff, please. Like from a can. Yeah, she's a really good cook, as you can tell from my
You got to do
proportions.
another kirtan at your house.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen because my wife is so busy all the time.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Working all the time. That's
I mean, she's an salaried nurse now, and she has to work 10 or 12 hours a day,
yeah.
and one every she gets 3 out of 4 weekends off, but all the other times it's like she's working all the time from
Yeah.
like 8 in the morning until like
I
8 o'clock at night.
I know that
Yeah.
one all too
She's,
well.
she doesn't have a life. Me, I'm just a lazy bum. But anyway, it was very nice talking to you. I like all of the pastimes, and it really sounds like you had a nice group there from
Yeah, and I
all
got
over
a
the world.
harmonium back from Rishikesh.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Are you learning it?
My friend that I met, Vishal, who called actually, listen, when we were doing our Japa walk today, he taught me this song called Gana Gap Gam Gana Pataye Namaha Gam Gana Pataye Namaha. That one. He taught me that, so I just learned that.
Nice.
Yeah. Hopefully,
You
yeah.
know Allen Ginsberg?
Yeah.
He was on the William F. Buckley television show in the 60s with harmonium chanting.
Wow.
That guy is a conservative. And, and William F. Buckley was like a famous conservative back in the 60s. And Allen Ginsberg was chanting Hare Krishna on his television show.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that harmonium. It's just such a sweet
I
instrument.
love it too.
It's kind of like an accordion, except
It
it
is.
sits on the ground.
I love the drony sound, and
Yeah,
I'll
you
have
can
to
have
learn.
a constant drone, and Indian music's all about drones. They have
It's
the
amazing.
Siraj. The Siraj is still in the corner, I think, in the Kirtan center. It's like four strings, and it's just a drone sound, but it's a plucked
Oh.
instrument. It's called a Siraj.
A Siraj.
Yeah, that's like the drone in the back of a melody, But it's a science, everything in Vedic. Like, did you see the picture of the temple that they're building up in Moon?
No.
Shamsundar is building a temple,
Yeah, that's what I heard. But
and
gonna
it's
take,
going to be
like, forever.
exactly according to Vedic specifications.
Wow. How long is it going to
So,
take though? It's like
I don't know. I think it was like a few years ago. He said it was a 10-year plan, so
right.
maybe 7 years or something. But they're
Wow.
going to have a Govinda's restaurant right next to it.
Wow.
So this restaurant, it's just a little takeout place, So
Mm-hmm.
he didn't want to name it Govinda's because he would trying to be a little low key,
Mm-hmm.
But that one's going to be official, Hare
In Moon?
Krishna. Moon Township, yeah, he lives up there.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
30, they're about 30 miles north of here.
Oh, okay.
That's
Yeah.
where he lives. He has all his programs. And he has his deities up there, He just moved into a new place. Have you been there, Alyssa?
Yeah.
You have? Okay. I've never been up there. I was at a golf a resort recreation center where they were having a program there, a big gathering. Can't even remember what holiday it was, but he rents out that place, and he wants to have that kind of space too for devotees, because it is a growing organization here. Lord
Yeah.
Chaitanya's movement is actually going on here in Pittsburgh.
Hmm.
And I think he's empowered by Radhanath Swami to actually increase this whole, thing that's happening here in Pittsburgh. And it's
Yeah.
perfect because this is the way you do it. You just Prabhupada. I was reading of Prabhupada's pastimes in New Vrindavan when he came here in 1976, and on the way from the old airport, they had the old airport in the 80s. They were traveling along the highway, and Kirtanananda gave him some milk sweets from the farm, and and Prabhupada was reminiscing about how 10 years ago he had just started this whole movement with this thing in mind. You don't, like tell them do this, don't do that. You don't say anything like that. You just invite them to come, take some prasadam, chant Hare Krishna, and then go home.
Yep.
That's it. I mean,
That's it.
who wouldn't like that? It's like,
That's how I got started.
yeah. I mean, it's just perfect. It's like, you get a taste, and then actually after a while, once you're purified a little bit, then you can introduce a little bit of the philosophy too, and it's got its foundation under it. And if you get that foundation, the Prabhupada's books, if you keep reading them and develop a taste for those pastimes, then you have the foundation underneath it, and you'll never go back to this material world again. You'll be purified to the point where there's no turning back. So anyway, very nice talking to you, and we'll maybe do this again sometime. Anytime, I try to do something every night,
Hmm.
except Thursday,
Yeah.
and so maybe some other time. And
Yeah.
thank you, Alyssa, for listening. I appreciate it,
Yeah.
and to
We have break from school.
oh, well, you're going to school now.
No, I'm still,
You're teaching, right?
but I
Doing
think my
your
my yeah, my school district has like 2 weeks off at the end of December, so I'll be more like available to do things.
yeah,
Like
anytime.
today I didn't have school because of the weather. But
I had a Zoom class with Sankirtan, and a devotee who actually looked me up. He was familiar with my audiobooks. He's from Moldova, which is right next to Ukraine.
well,
Yeah.
And we had a 2-hour talk with Sankirtan talking about Dharma. He was talking about Prabhupada's quotes on war because he has a lot of friends from Ukraine.
are you
And
talking about Sankirtan, your guru?
no, Sankirtan from New Vrindavan, the older gentleman, the former. I mean, he was one of the original. He's an author. He's an award-winning author. He
He's
wrote
not
Hanuman's Quest, and he wrote the Mahabharata.
he's not your
Sankirtan.
guru?
He's not a guru,
Oh.
but he's a thespian. He used to be a dramatic actor. He would do he did the whole Ramayana at the palace. They filmed it for ITV,
Yeah,
Vedic television.
I can't keep track of all the different people because I haven't met them. So what's your guru's name?
My guru is Kirtanananda. He passed away in 2011.
Oh,
He's the
okay.
one that started the New Vrindavan in 1968. He rented that little farmhouse on the other side of the ridge for 99 cents, for $1 for 99 years.
Okay.
That was a good deal. So anyway, I'll talk to you later, as
Okay.
they say in the Berg.
See you
Hare
guys.
Krishna.
Krishna. We will.